Okay, it's Corona story time again. Today I'll be reading from The Fleas Come with the Dog by Ralph McGill. Ralph is Kara's great uncle and was the editor of the Atlanta Constitution, and this is a collection of his articles. This one is called Who Shakes the Trees? Who shakes the trees, he asked, peering upward to where the long gray limbs of an old oak tossed in the wind, stirred up by the approach of a heat lightning storm. Who shakes the trees, he asks again, pulling at the sleeve of the man who held him on his lap. His face was turned up, and the struggle of his mind, going on 3 years old, was written in his face and eyes. Who shakes the trees? You cannot explain God and the wind. You cannot picture weather in terms of reports. Your own head races with explanations that come crowding out of corners of the mind, like many puppies spilling from their kennels, an invisible giant that walks across the sky shaking the trees, a wind that blows from out of the corners of the world. But what is a wind, and who can describe what he cannot see? Or tell the story of air currents that build up and blow across the world and down and up from the icy poles. Many men have tried to explain the creation of the earth and a kindly, mighty God who created man and the beasts and the winds that blow and the rains that fall and the flowers that bloom and the crops that grow. But such an explanation involves faith, and faith is a mighty thing in itself, though in truth it need be no larger than a mustard seed. Who can quickly explain faith to a mind just coming into consciousness of winds that shake trees and of dogs that bark in the night and trains that whistle through the black hours? You cannot say to such a one, have faith. Here is the canvas of a new mind, and one must paint upon it with words and ideas. And your hand grasps for a brush that is not there, and feels for a pigment board with ready-mixed paints, and it too is not to be found. How will you answer the pulling hand on your sleeve, and the voice, and the face, and the eyes upturned to a tree with its branches tossing like wild arms in the wind? Who shakes the trees? Who is God? You cannot answer, because to define God is to limit God. Who is he? Will you get the picture books that show an old man with a white beard sitting on a throne? Will you say that God is love and be asked, what is love? Who is God? And you cannot answer a young man going on toward his third year, his mind reaching out and seeing new things and becoming conscious of the connection between objects and words, and putting the two together in the most searching questions of not more than 3 or 4 words. Who shakes the trees? Who is God? And all your good vocabulary is pulled down like the walls of Troy. It comes tumbling down like the walls of Jericho, and the sound of the silver trumpets and the crash of their falling stones and the dust of their mortar. Where are your fine words now? And what good are they to you? Where are your smooth phrases, your quotations from the poets, your lines from Shakespeare, your epigrams from Wilde, your bitter thoughts from the philosophers? What good are they to you? And a child pulling your sleeve, asking who shakes the trees and who is God? Who are the careless painters that paint on the canvas of a child's mind? How many brutal painters are at work? Oh God, you think, how many bad painters there are turned loose with brush and paints to daub on the white, eager canvas of a child's mind? How many grotesque, evil painters? How many awkward, uncertain, erroneous painters? How many careless, dishonest painters? How many silly, cackling painters, smearing paint as they would lipstick on a loose mouth? How many grasping, petty, envious, hating painters there are, painting with worn brushes and poisonous colors distilled from evil flowers and clays? How many of them are loose on the world? You become terrified, thinking how many painters there are at work on the canvas of children's minds, held up innocently clean and new to all the painters. You curse suddenly the old, worn-out painters who sit back and decry that product of the painters, the juvenile delinquents, who obey the pattern of what is painted on their minds from childhood. You sit there terribly shaken and pitifully inadequate and dismayed, a small hand shaking your sleeve, asking, who shakes the trees? A small voice asking, after a faltering answer, who is God? How important are words? How inadequate is all the knowledge of the world, all that is printed in books? And a small face turned up, and eager eyes looking at trees blowing in the wind. That's enough for now. Thanks very much.